Have you ever felt stuck in a cycle of habits, mindsets, or beliefs that no longer serve you? The world tells us to chase goals, adopt the latest productivity hacks, and push harder for success. But what if the secret to true reinvention isn't about adding more to your life, but about stripping away what holds you back? Enter Buddhism, an ancient philosophy that offers timeless wisdom for self-transformation. Unlike quick-fix solutions that promise overnight change, Buddhism goes deeper. It doesn't offer surface-level advice or trendy affirmations. Instead, it presents a framework to reshape your entire way of being, starting from within. This is why Buddhism stands as the ultimate blueprint for reinvention. In Western culture, self-help often starts with the idea of becoming your best self. But Buddhism challenges this notion at its core. According to the principle of anatta, or no-self, the concept of a permanent, unchanging self is an illusion. Think about it. Who you were 10 years ago isn't who you are today. Your thoughts, habits, and even your body have changed. Buddhism teaches that this constant flux is not a weakness, it's a strength. Why? Because if the self isn't fixed, it means you're not locked into your current identity. You're free to grow, adapt, and reinvent yourself. Instead of clinging to labels like "I'm not creative" or "I'm bad at relationships," Buddhism invites you to see yourself as a dynamic work in progress. This shift is profound. It breaks the chains of self-doubt and opens the door to transformation. It also gives you the courage to let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you can become. Here's a truth we all know but rarely embrace. Growth often comes from discomfort. Buddhism doesn't sugarcoat this. At its heart lies the concept of dukkha, or suffering. This isn't about wallowing in misery, but about recognizing the inevitability of challenges in life. Think about the times you've grown the most. Was it during moments of comfort, or was it when life pushed you out of your comfort zone? Whether it's a heartbreak, a career setback, or a personal failure, these experiences force us to confront our patterns and ask, what needs to change? Buddhism teaches us to lean into these moments with curiosity rather than resistance. It's not about avoiding pain, but about transforming it into wisdom. In this way, suffering becomes the fertile ground where the seeds of reinvention are planted. This mindset shifts your perspective from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What can I learn from this?" That single shift in thinking can change everything. One of the most liberating teachings in Buddhism is the idea of letting go. We often hold on to things, grudges, identities, possessions, expectations, thinking they define us. But this attachment creates suffering. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy backpack. Each step feels harder because of the weight you refuse to release. Buddhism asks, what are you holding on to that you no longer need? Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about recognizing what truly matters. It's about releasing the illusion of control over things outside of yourself and focusing instead on your inner world. When you let go of the need to control outcomes, you create space for something new. You free yourself to grow in ways you never imagined. The practice of mindfulness, or being fully present in the moment, is another cornerstone of Buddhist wisdom. In our fast-paced world, our minds are constantly racing, thinking about the past, worrying about the future, or getting lost in distractions. Mindfulness brings us back to the present, where true change happens. Reinvention doesn't occur in some distant future. It happens now, in this moment, as you take deliberate action. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to notice your thoughts, emotions, and habits without judgment. This awareness is the first step toward change. You can't fix what you don't see. By observing yourself with compassion, you start to understand why you act the way you do, and that understanding empowers you to choose differently. Compassion is another transformative aspect of Buddhism that fuels self-reinvention. Often, when we try to change, we approach ourselves with harsh criticism. We focus on our flaws and beat ourselves up for not being good enough. But Buddhism teaches us to be gentle with ourselves. Just as a gardener nurtures a plant, we must nurture our own growth. Self-compassion isn't about excusing mistakes. It's about recognizing that growth is a process, and every step, even the missteps, brings us closer to who we want to become. As you walk the path of reinvention, you'll inevitably face resistance, both from within and from the world around you. Buddhism equips you with the tools to navigate this resistance. It teaches resilience through acceptance. Instead of fighting against what is, you learn to flow with it. This doesn't mean passivity. It means approaching life's challenges with a calm, steady mind, finding solutions without being consumed by frustration or fear. Meditation, a core practice in Buddhism, offers a powerful tool for reinvention. In the stillness of meditation, you connect with your inner self. You quiet the noise of the world and tune into your own truth. This practice isn't about escaping reality. It's about seeing reality more clearly. Through meditation, you develop the clarity and focus needed to align your actions with your intentions. Reinvention is not a destination. It's a journey, and Buddhism teaches that this journey is not about perfection, but about progress. Each day, each moment, is an opportunity to start again. You don't need to wait for a new year or a major life event to reinvent yourself. The power to change is always within you, ready to be activated. Buddhism's principles of no-self, mindfulness, compassion, and acceptance form a roadmap for self-transformation that transcends time and culture. They remind us that reinvention isn't about adding more to our lives, but about removing the barriers that prevent us from becoming our true selves. It's about embracing change, even when it's uncomfortable, and trusting that the process will lead us to a place of greater clarity, peace, and purpose. So, as you embark on your own journey of reinvention, remember that the answers you seek aren't out there. They're within you. And with the guidance of Buddhist wisdom, you have everything you need to begin anew. Life is filled with challenges. No matter who you are or what you've achieved, there's no escaping it. Relationships fall apart, careers hit dead ends, health declines, and unexpected losses knock the wind out of you. It's easy to feel like life is working against you, trapping you in cycles of frustration and disappointment. But what if those struggles weren't the enemy? What if they were the doorway to a deeper understanding of life itself? This is where Buddhism offers its most profound insight: the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths are the cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy. They're not just teachings, they're a mirror held up to life, reflecting its raw reality. They don't sugarcoat the human experience, nor do they promise a fantasy world free of hardship. Instead, they give you the tools to navigate life's struggles with clarity, purpose, and ultimately, freedom. The first noble truth is simple but powerful. Life involves suffering, dukkha. This suffering isn't just about pain or hardship. It's about the subtle dissatisfaction that lingers even in good times. Think about it. You achieve a big goal, but soon after, you're chasing the next one. You buy something new and exciting, but the thrill fades quickly. You love someone deeply, but the fear of loss always lingers in the background. Buddhism points out that this dissatisfaction is woven into the fabric of existence. It's not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's simply the nature of life. At first glance, this truth might seem bleak. Who wants to hear that life is inherently unsatisfying? But acknowledging this truth isn't about despair, it's about awareness. Imagine trying to solve a problem without understanding what's causing it. The first noble truth is the foundation of self-awareness. It's the starting point for transformation. The second noble truth goes deeper. Suffering has a cause. Buddhism teaches that the root of our struggles is craving or attachment. We cling to things, people, possessions, status, comfort, believing they'll bring lasting happiness. But life is impermanent. Everything we hold on to eventually changes, fades, or slips away. When we resist this reality, we create suffering. Think about a time you felt deeply disappointed. Maybe it was when a relationship ended, or you lost a job you loved. The pain wasn't just from the loss itself, it was from your attachment to how things were supposed to be. Buddhism doesn't say you shouldn't care or feel emotion. It simply points out that clinging to an unchanging ideal is what amplifies your suffering. The third noble truth offers hope. Suffering can end. This is where Buddhism sets itself apart from other philosophies that dwell on the hardships of life. It doesn't leave you in despair. Instead, it promises liberation. By letting go of attachment and embracing the impermanence of life, you can find peace. This isn't about giving up on joy or love. It's about experiencing them fully without clinging. It's about appreciating what you have in the moment, knowing it won't last forever, and being okay with that. Imagine freeing yourself from the constant cycle of wanting and fearing. What would your life look like if you didn't base your happiness on things you can't control? The third noble truth isn't just an abstract idea. It's a radical invitation to let go of the unnecessary weight you've been carrying. The fourth noble truth gives you the how. There's a path to end suffering. This path is called the Noble Eightfold Path, and it's a practical guide to living with wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. We'll dive deeper into its specifics later, but for now, think of it as a roadmap for transformation. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every small step you take on this path moves you closer to inner freedom. The Four Noble Truths aren't just ancient teachings. They're a lens through which you can view your modern life. Let's break this down with a real-world example. Suppose you're dealing with stress at work. Deadlines are piling up, your boss is demanding, and you feel overwhelmed. The first noble truth helps you recognize the stress for what it is, an inevitable part of life. The second noble truth asks you to dig deeper. Are you clinging to unrealistic expectations of perfection? Are you trying to control things outside your influence? The third noble truth reminds you that this stress doesn't have to define you. You can find peace by changing how you relate to the situation. And the fourth noble truth provides actionable steps, perhaps through mindfulness, ethical communication, or setting healthier boundaries to navigate the challenge with clarity and resilience. This isn't just philosophy, it's practical wisdom. The Four Noble Truths teach you to stop running from life's struggles and start working with them. They show you that suffering isn't a dead end. It's a starting point for transformation. But let's be clear, this isn't an easy path. It requires honesty, self-reflection, and a willingness to let go of old patterns. It challenges you to face uncomfortable truths about yourself and the world around you. Yet, in that challenge lies your greatest opportunity for growth. Think of the Four Noble Truths as a cycle, not a checklist. You don't just learn them once and move on. Life will keep throwing challenges your way, and each time you'll have the chance to apply these truths in deeper and more meaningful ways. Over time, they become second nature, a part of how you approach every situation. As you embark on this journey of reinvention, let the Four Noble Truths be your compass. They won't shield you from life's difficulties, but they will transform how you experience them. They'll teach you to see suffering not as an enemy, but as a teacher, guiding you toward a life of greater clarity, peace, and purpose. And that, after all, is the ultimate blueprint for transformation. Creating a fulfilling life requires more than just good intentions. It needs a clear, actionable framework. In Buddhism, the Noble Eightfold Path serves as that roadmap. It's not a quick fix or a one-size-fits-all solution, but rather a guide to aligning your thoughts, actions, and habits with a deeper sense of purpose and peace. While its origins lie in Buddhist teachings, its principles are universal, offering anyone, regardless of faith or background, a powerful way to reinvent themselves. The Eightfold Path is divided into three categories: wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. Each of these categories builds on the others, creating a balanced and holistic approach to life transformation. Let's explore each step and how it can serve as a foundation for reinventing yourself. The first step is right view, understanding life as it truly is. This doesn't mean seeing the world through rose-colored glasses or being overly pessimistic. It means acknowledging the realities of life, including its impermanence and interconnectedness. Reinvention starts here, with clarity. If you're stuck in a job or relationship that doesn't fulfill you, the first step is recognizing it for what it is. This clarity isn't about self-criticism, it's about self-awareness. By understanding where you are and why, you can begin to envision where you want to go. Next comes right intention. This is about aligning your goals and aspirations with your values. Too often, we chase after things, money, recognition, approval, that don't bring us true fulfillment. Right intention asks you to dig deeper. Why do you want to change? What do you truly value? This isn't about superficial desires, but about tapping into your core motivations. Do you want a career that aligns with your passions? Do you want relationships rooted in mutual respect and love? Right intention helps you set a course toward the life you truly want. Once your mindset is clear, the path shifts to ethical conduct. The third step is right speech. Words have immense power. They can heal or harm, connect or divide. Reinventing yourself requires paying attention to how you communicate, both with others and with yourself. Are you honest and kind in your interactions? Do you speak with integrity? Equally important, how do you talk to yourself? Are you constantly criticizing yourself, or do you offer words of encouragement and support? Right speech isn't just about what you say. It's about creating harmony in your inner and outer worlds. Right action comes next. This step is about aligning your behaviors with your values. It's not enough to think about change. You have to act on it. If you've realized that your lifestyle doesn't align with your goals, right action asks you to make choices that reflect your new direction. This could mean setting boundaries, letting go of toxic habits, or taking steps toward healthier living. It's about integrity. making sure your actions reflect the person you want to become. Following this is right livelihood. Your work is a significant part of your life, and it should contribute to your sense of purpose, not detract from it. Right livelihood challenges you to evaluate whether your career aligns with your values and brings meaning to your life. This doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job tomorrow to pursue a dream. It's about finding ways to infuse your work with purpose or seeking opportunities that align more closely with your passions. Reinvention often starts here, as your livelihood shapes much of your daily experience. The path then transitions to mental discipline, starting with right effort. This step emphasizes consistent, intentional effort toward positive change. Reinvention isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily commitment. Right effort encourages you to let go of unhelpful habits and cultivate constructive ones. It's about showing up for yourself every day, even when progress feels slow. Whether it's learning a new skill, meditating, or practicing gratitude, small, consistent actions add up to profound transformation. Next is right mindfulness. This step is about staying present and aware. Too often, we get caught up in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. Right mindfulness invites you to focus on the here and now. When you're mindful, you approach life with clarity and intention, rather than being swept away by distractions or negative thought patterns. This doesn't mean ignoring the future. It means engaging with it from a place of calm and awareness, rather than fear or impulsivity. The final step is right concentration. This involves cultivating focus and inner stillness through practices like meditation. In a world full of noise and endless distractions, right concentration is your anchor. It helps you stay grounded, even when life feels chaotic. Through consistent practice, you develop the mental clarity and resilience needed to navigate challenges and stay aligned with your goals. This step isn't about perfection. It's about progress, creating a sense of inner peace that supports your transformation. Together, these 8 steps form a cohesive framework for reinvention. They don't demand that you change everything overnight or become someone entirely different. Instead, they invite you to align your life with your values, one step at a time. Each step builds on the others, creating a cycle of growth that becomes a part of your everyday life. Imagine applying these principles to your own life. Perhaps you start with right view, taking an honest look at what's working and what isn't. From there, you set intentions that align with your values. Maybe it's to prioritize your health or spend more time with loved ones. As you move forward, you begin to act on these intentions, aligning your words, actions, and career with your goals. Along the way, you cultivate mindfulness and focus, staying present and resilient in the face of setbacks. The Noble Eightfold Path isn't just a Buddhist teaching. It's a timeless guide to living with purpose and authenticity. It reminds us that transformation isn't about chasing perfection or external success. It's about aligning your life with your deepest values and finding fulfillment in the journey. When you embrace this path, reinvention becomes not just possible, but inevitable. In the quest for reinvention, one of the greatest barriers we face is our attachment to who we think we are. We define ourselves by our past, our roles, and the labels society places on us. We cling to these identities because they feel safe, familiar, and concrete. But in truth, this clinging can hold us back, trapping us in a version of ourselves that no longer serves who we want to become. Buddhism offers a profound antidote to this. Anatta, the concept of no self. At first glance, the idea of no self might seem unsettling. If there's no fixed self, then who are we? But this teaching is not about erasing your existence. It's about freeing yourself from rigid definitions and embracing the fluid, ever-changing nature of who you are. Anatta is a key to unlocking growth and transformation, showing us that the self is not a static entity, but a dynamic process. To understand this, let's start with what Buddhism means by no self. Anatta teaches that what we call the self, a singular, unchanging me, is actually an illusion. Our identities are made up of countless elements: our thoughts, emotions, memories, habits, and experiences. These elements are constantly shifting, evolving with every moment. There's no permanent core that defines us. Instead, we are a collection of impermanent processes. For many, this realization can feel liberating. If there's no fixed self, then you're not bound by your past. You don't have to be defined by old mistakes, failures, or even your successes. You're not trapped in the roles that others expect you to play. You are free to grow, change, and redefine yourself as many times as you need to. Imagine someone who has always identified as the shy one. This identity might have served them in childhood, but as an adult, it could become a limitation. They might avoid opportunities to speak up or connect with others, believing that shy is just who they are. Anatta invites them to question this. Are they truly shy, or is this just a story they've told themselves? By letting go of that label, they can explore new ways of being, ways that align more closely with the person they want to become. Letting go of your old identity doesn't mean denying your past or pretending it never happened. It means recognizing that your past is just one chapter in a much larger story. You can honor it without being confined by it. This perspective opens up infinite possibilities for growth. If you're not defined by who you were yesterday, then who could you become today? This process of letting go often starts with awareness. Take a moment to examine the labels and roles you've assigned to yourself. Are you the responsible one, the successful one, the failure, or the black sheep? Notice how these identities shape your behavior and decisions. Do they feel empowering, or do they box you in? Awareness is the first step in loosening their grip. Once you've identified these labels, the next step is to challenge them. Ask yourself, are these identities truly me, or are they just temporary aspects of my experience? If you're willing to let go of these labels, what might change? What new possibilities might emerge? This questioning is at the heart of Anatta. It's about seeing through the illusion of a fixed self and embracing your potential for transformation. Practices like meditation can be invaluable in this process. When you sit quietly and observe your thoughts, you start to notice how transient they are. One moment, you might feel confident. The next, you feel uncertain. One moment, you're replaying a memory. The next, you're planning the future. None of these thoughts define you. They're like clouds passing through the sky. The more you observe, the more you realize that the self is not a solid entity, but an ever-changing flow. This insight can also help you let go of the need for external validation. If there's no fixed self, then your worth doesn't depend on how others perceive you. You're not good or bad based on someone else's judgment. You simply are. This frees you to live authentically, guided by your own values rather than the expectations of others. The concept of anatta also challenges us to rethink how we approach personal growth. Often we try to improve ourselves by adding things, new skills, new habits, new achievements. But anatta suggests that transformation is just as much about subtraction as it is about addition. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you. Outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, and unhelpful patterns. By releasing these, you create space for something new to emerge. In practical terms, this might look like examining your habits and asking which ones are aligned with your goals. If you've always identified as someone who procrastinates, can you let go of that story and take one small step toward action? If you've held on to resentment or guilt, can you release it and make room for forgiveness and compassion? Each act of letting go brings you closer to your true self, not a fixed identity, but the most authentic and dynamic version of who you are. The beauty of anatta is that it's not just a philosophy, it's an invitation to freedom. When you stop clinging to a fixed self, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities of who you can become. You're no longer limited by your past or trapped by your fears. You're free to reinvent yourself, moment by moment, in alignment with your highest aspirations. This isn't to say that letting go is easy. It takes courage to question long-held beliefs and step into the unknown. But as you embrace the fluidity of your identity, you'll find a sense of liberation and empowerment that no fixed label could ever provide. In the journey of reinvention, anatta is a reminder that you are not a static being. You are a work in progress, constantly evolving. By letting go of your old identity, you make room for growth, transformation, and the limitless potential that lies within you. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about discovering the freedom to be fully, authentically yourself. Attachment is one of the most powerful forces shaping our lives, often subtly dictating our actions, emotions, and decisions. It's natural to form attachments to people, possessions, habits, and even ideas. Yet, as Buddhism teaches, these attachments can become a source of suffering. They bind us, creating expectations, dependency, and fear of loss. To truly reinvent ourselves and achieve a life of freedom and fulfillment, we must confront and release these attachments. The Buddha likened attachment to a flame, bright and captivating, but potentially destructive if not controlled. Attachments fuel our desires, leading to clinging and grasping. When we don't get what we want or lose what we hold dear, the result is often disappointment, frustration, or heartbreak. To find peace and clarity, we must learn to release these attachments and embrace a more liberating relationship with the world. Releasing attachment doesn't mean rejecting everything or becoming indifferent. Instead, it's about cultivating a mindset of non-attachment, a state of appreciating and engaging with life without being controlled by it. It's about loving without clinging, striving without obsessing, and living without fearing loss. Let's start with harmful relationships, one of the most challenging areas of attachment. Relationships are essential to human life. They bring joy, connection, and meaning. But not all relationships are healthy. Sometimes we hold on to people who no longer align with our values, who drain our energy, or who cause us harm. We cling to these connections out of fear of loneliness, fear of conflict, or fear of change. Non-attachment in relationships doesn't mean avoiding love or connection. It means loving freely, without ownership. It's about respecting others' autonomy while honoring your own. Ask yourself, are you holding on to relationships out of genuine care or because you're afraid of letting go? Releasing harmful relationships Create space for healthier, more authentic connections to flourish. Now consider possessions, the things we accumulate and often tie our identity to. It's easy to equate material wealth with success or happiness, but Buddhism reminds us that possessions are impermanent. Clinging to them only sets us up for disappointment when they fade, break, or lose their value. Moreover, the pursuit of possessions can become a distraction from what truly matters. Adopting a mindset of non-attachment to possessions doesn't mean living in poverty or giving up everything you own. It's about examining your relationship with material things. Do you own your possessions, or do they own you? By letting go of the need to constantly acquire more or the fear of losing what you have, you free yourself to focus on experiences, relationships, and personal growth. Then there are desires, the subtle but pervasive drivers of attachment. We often think, if I just get this one thing, I'll be happy. But as soon as we achieve it, the cycle begins again with a new desire. This endless chase for satisfaction keeps us in a state of craving, never content with the present moment. The Buddha taught that desire itself isn't inherently bad. It's the clinging to desire that causes suffering. The key is to recognize your desires and approach them mindfully. Are they aligned with your values and goals, or are they fleeting impulses? Can you pursue them without becoming obsessed or dependent on the outcome? Learning to let go of unhelpful desires creates space for deeper contentment and fulfillment. Practically speaking, how do we begin to release attachment? One powerful practice is mindfulness. By observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you can identify the attachments that no longer serve you. Mindfulness helps you recognize when you're clinging, giving you the opportunity to pause and choose a different response. For example, when faced with a disappointment, a broken relationship, a missed opportunity, or a lost possession, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I suffering because of the loss itself, or because of my attachment to it? Often it's not the event that causes pain, but the meaning we've attached to it. By shifting your perspective, you can begin to let go and move forward. Another effective practice is gratitude. When you focus on appreciating what you have rather than fearing its loss, your attachment naturally diminishes. Gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, helping you find joy in the present moment without clinging to it. Buddhist meditation techniques such as loving kindness meditation can also help in releasing attachment. This practice involves sending goodwill and compassion to yourself, loved ones, and even those you find difficult. By cultivating a sense of universal love, you can approach relationships and situations with openness and detachment, free from the need to control or possess. Releasing attachment is a process, not an instant transformation. It requires patience, self-awareness, and consistent practice. There will be moments of resistance, times when you feel the pull to cling to the familiar or the comfortable. In those moments, remind yourself of the freedom and peace that come with letting go. The beauty of non-attachment is that it doesn't take away from life's richness. It enhances it. When you let go of clinging, you become fully present. You can love without fear, enjoy without anxiety, and strive without desperation. You open yourself to life's flow, accepting its impermanence while embracing its beauty. Imagine standing on the shore, holding tightly to a handful of sand. The harder you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it lightly, with an open hand, it stays with you. This is the essence of non-attachment, not rejecting life, but holding it gently, with an open heart and mind. As you release harmful relationships, possessions, and desires, you create space for something far greater: peace, clarity, and the freedom to reinvent yourself. You step into a life where your happiness is no longer tied to external circumstances, but rooted in the unshakable foundation of inner wisdom and contentment. This is the power of letting go, a lesson Buddhism offers as a timeless gift for transformation. Mindfulness is a concept that has captivated the modern world, but its roots in Buddhism run deep. At its core, mindfulness is the practice of living fully in the present moment, aware, engaged, and grounded in the here and now. It's a deceptively simple idea with profound implications, offering a gateway to transformation and a richer, more meaningful life. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to lose sight of the present moment. We're often preoccupied with the past, reliving mistakes, holding on to regrets, or replaying conversations. Simultaneously, we fixate on the future, consumed by anxiety, to-do lists, and endless what-ifs. This dual focus on what was and what might be robs us of the only moment we truly have, the present. Mindfulness is the antidote, calling us back to the here and now with a sense of clarity and calm. At its heart, mindfulness is about awareness without judgment. It's not about forcing your mind to be quiet or avoiding distractions, but about observing your thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise, without clinging to them or pushing them away. This practice creates a space between you and your experiences, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Imagine waking up in the morning and taking a few moments to focus on your breath, the coolness of the air as it enters your nose, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. For those few seconds, you're fully present, not thinking about yesterday's mistakes or today's challenges. This is mindfulness in action, a pause, a return to yourself, a moment of peace in a busy world. But mindfulness is not limited to meditation. It's a way of living that can be integrated into every aspect of your day. Take, for example, something as mundane as eating. How often do we rush through meals, distracted by our phones or overwhelmed by thoughts of our next task? Practicing mindful eating means truly engaging with the experience, savoring each bite, noticing the textures, flavors, and aromas. It transforms eating from a routine chore into a moment of gratitude and connection. Mindfulness can also transform our relationships. How often do we find ourselves half listening in conversations, nodding absent-mindedly while our minds drift elsewhere? By practicing mindful listening, we give our full attention to the other person, truly hearing and understanding their words. This fosters deeper connections and a greater sense of empathy, both of which are essential for meaningful relationships. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily life begins with small, intentional practices. Start with your breath. The breath is a natural anchor. It's always with you, a constant rhythm that you can return to when life feels chaotic. Taking a few mindful breaths can help you recenter during moments of stress or overwhelm. Another powerful practice is the body scan meditation, where you bring awareness to different parts of your body, noticing sensations without judgment. This can be done in the morning to set a grounded tone for the day, or at night to release tension and prepare for restful sleep. The body scan fosters a sense of connection between mind and body, reminding you to tune into the physical experiences often overlooked in the rush of daily life. Mindfulness also invites us to approach challenges differently. When faced with stress, fear, or anger, our default reaction is often resistance or avoidance. Mindfulness encourages us to lean into these emotions, observing them without being consumed by them. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a tight deadline rather than spiraling into anxiety, pause. Notice the sensation of tightness in your chest or the rapid pace of your thoughts. Acknowledge these feelings without judgment and take a moment to breathe. This practice doesn't eliminate the stressor, but it changes your relationship with it, allowing you to respond with greater calm and clarity. One of the most profound teachings of mindfulness is that it reveals the impermanence of all things. Every thought, feeling, and experience arises, lingers, and passes away. This impermanence can be liberating. It reminds us that no matter how intense a moment feels, it is temporary. This awareness cultivates resilience, helping us navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. Mindfulness also sharpens our ability to notice the small joys in life. A warm cup of coffee in the morning, the sound of rain tapping against the window, the laughter of a loved one. These moments often go unnoticed in the rush of our days. But when we practice mindfulness, we become attuned to these small yet profound experiences, enriching our lives with a sense of wonder and gratitude. For those seeking to deepen their mindfulness practice, Buddhist meditation offers a structured path. Vipassana, or insight meditation, focuses on cultivating awareness and understanding of the nature of existence. Metta, or loving kindness meditation, fosters compassion for oneself and others. Both practices are tools to bring mindfulness into sharper focus, enhancing your ability to live fully in the present moment. Mindfulness doesn't promise to eliminate life's challenges, but it equips us to face them with grace and wisdom. It's a practice of turning inward, finding stillness amidst the chaos, and connecting with the essence of who we are. It's about reclaiming the present moment, not as a fleeting point in time, but as a profound opportunity for transformation. As you embrace mindfulness, remember that it's a journey, not a destination. There will be days when your mind wanders endlessly, and that's okay. The beauty of mindfulness lies in its simplicity. Every moment offers a new chance to return to the present. Each breath, each step, and each thought is an opportunity to begin again. Living fully in the present moment doesn't mean ignoring the past or neglecting the future. It means grounding yourself in the now, using the clarity of this moment to make choices that honor your true self. Through mindfulness, you discover that the present isn't just a stepping stone to the next moment. It's the foundation of a fulfilling, authentic life. Vipassana, often referred to as insight meditation, is one of the most profound tools in Buddhism for cultivating awareness and understanding. The term translates to seeing things as they are, and this practice is rooted in the idea of observing reality without distortion. It's not about escaping from the chaos of life, but rather learning to navigate it by understanding its true nature. At its essence, Vipassana helps you uncover the patterns and habits that govern your thoughts and actions. It's a method of deep self-exploration that peels back the layers of illusion we often construct around ourselves and the world. These illusions, fueled by desires, fears, and attachments, cloud our judgment and prevent us from experiencing life as it truly is. Through the disciplined practice of Vipassana, you can break free from these limitations and discover clarity, freedom, and peace. The journey begins with mindfulness, the foundation of Vipassana. To see things as they are, you must first train your mind to focus and observe without judgment. This starts with simple acts of noticing how your breath moves in and out, how your body feels as it sits or moves, and how your thoughts and emotions arise and fade. This observation is not passive, but active and intentional. The The goal is not to control or change these experiences, but to witness them with curiosity and acceptance. As you practice vipassana, you begin to see patterns in your mind. Perhaps you notice recurring thoughts of self-doubt, or recognize how certain triggers evoke strong emotional reactions. These insights are not meant to be analyzed in the moment, but simply observed. Over time, this awareness allows you to step out of habitual reactions and respond to life with greater wisdom and equanimity. The power of vipassana lies in its simplicity and its universality. It does not require you to adopt specific beliefs or rituals. Instead, it invites you to investigate your own experience. The practice illuminates the impermanence of all things, the fleeting nature of emotions, thoughts, and sensations. This realization can be both humbling and liberating. When you see that everything is in constant flux, you begin to let go of clinging to what you want or resisting what you dislike. You learn to flow with life rather than fight against it. In this state of heightened awareness, you also start to recognize the interconnectedness of all things. You see how your actions ripple outward, affecting others and the world around you. This insight fosters a sense of compassion and responsibility. Vipassana teaches you that understanding yourself is inseparable from understanding the world. The clearer you become about your own mind, the more you can navigate relationships, challenges, and opportunities with grace. Vipassana is not a quick fix or a one-time revelation. It is a lifelong practice of refining your awareness and peeling back the layers of illusion. Some days, the mind will feel restless and chaotic. Other days, it will feel calm and clear. Both are part of the journey. The key is consistency and patience. With time, the practice becomes less about structured meditation sessions and more about how you live each moment. You carry the principles of vipassana into your daily life, using them to approach situations with clarity and presence. Through this practice, you begin to experience life in its raw, unfiltered beauty. You notice the small miracles, a breeze against your skin, the laughter of a child, the stillness of a quiet morning. These moments, which often go unnoticed, become profound reminders of the richness of existence. At the same time, you learn to face difficulties with courage and acceptance, understanding that they too are part of the ever-changing tapestry of life. Vipassana offers a path to liberation, not from life's challenges, but from the suffering caused by misunderstanding and attachment. It empowers you to break free from cycles of reactivity and to live with greater purpose, compassion, and peace. As you continue this journey, you not only transform your relationship with yourself, but also contribute to a more mindful and harmonious world. Loving kindness, or metta in Pali, is a transformative practice in Buddhism that cultivates compassion, warmth, and goodwill toward yourself and others. At its heart, it's about nurturing an attitude of unconditional kindness, extending it not only to those you love, but also to strangers, and even those with whom you have conflicts. In a world often driven by competition, resentment, and judgment, loving kindness offers a powerful tool to bridge divides, heal relationships, and foster inner growth. The journey of loving kindness begins with yourself. While it may sound simple, extending genuine compassion toward yourself can be one of the hardest steps. Many people carry self-critical thoughts, guilt, or feelings of inadequacy, which act as barriers to self-compassion. To practice metta, start by acknowledging your inherent worth and humanity. Repeat affirmations of goodwill, such as, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I live with ease." These words, repeated with intention and sincerity, begin to dissolve the harsh narratives you might hold about yourself. Once this foundation of self-kindness is established, the practice expands outward. You begin to direct the same thoughts of goodwill toward others. Start with someone you love, someone who naturally inspires feelings of warmth and affection. Picture them in your mind and silently offer them the same affirmations. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. As you focus on these sentiments, notice how your heart softens and your sense of connection deepens. The real power of metta practice emerges when you extend it to those with whom you feel neutral or even negative emotions. Directing loving kindness toward acquaintances or strangers challenges you to recognize their shared humanity, even if you don't know them well. Then comes the most transformative step, offering compassion to someone you dislike or with whom you've had conflict. This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior, but rather acknowledging their struggles, fears, and humanity. It's about letting go of resentment and freeing yourself from the burden of anger. Through this process, you come to understand that loving kindness is not conditional. It's not about whether someone deserves compassion. Rather, it's about cultivating a state of being that reflects your values and fosters inner peace. The act of extending kindness is as much about your own growth as it is about helping others. The effects of metta are profound, both internally and externally. Internally, it rewires your thought patterns, reducing anger, jealousy, and judgment. You become more patient and forgiving, both with yourself and others. Externally, your relationships begin to shift. Kindness creates an atmosphere of safety and trust, allowing deeper connections to form. When people feel valued and seen, they often respond in kind, creating a ripple effect that spreads beyond individual interactions. Loving kindness also provides a framework for navigating difficult situations. Imagine a conflict at work or tension in a relationship. Instead of reacting defensively or with hostility, you can pause, reflect, and bring the principles of metta to the forefront. Asking yourself, how can I approach this with compassion, can shift your perspective and lead to more constructive outcomes. Moreover, practicing loving kindness is not limited to formal meditation. It's a mindset you can carry into your daily life. A smile to a passerby, a kind word to a colleague, or a gesture of generosity to a stranger all embody the spirit of metta. Each small act reinforces the habit of compassion, making it a natural part of who you are. As you deepen your practice, you'll notice that loving kindness extends beyond individuals to encompass all living beings. You begin to feel a sense of interconnectedness with the world, recognizing that all creatures share the desire to avoid suffering and seek happiness. This awareness can inspire actions that align with these values, such as advocating for social justice, protecting the environment, or supporting community well-being. Loving kindness also plays a critical role in self-transformation. When you release the grip of resentment, envy, or self-criticism, you create space for growth and healing. You stop being held back by old grudges or negative self-perceptions, and instead, you cultivate a sense of lightness and freedom. This shift doesn't just benefit your relationships, it changes how you see the world and your place in it. In many ways, metta is a practice of courage. It asks you to confront the parts of yourself that resist kindness, the ego, the fears, the grudges, and to choose love anyway. It invites you to step into a version of yourself that is open, generous, and resilient. This courage transforms not only how you relate to others, but also how you view your own potential for growth and happiness. As you continue on the path of loving kindness, you'll find that it's not just an abstract ideal, but a deeply practical tool for navigating life. It strengthens your emotional resilience, enriches your relationships, and fosters a sense of purpose and connection. The beauty of metta is that it doesn't require extraordinary circumstances or grand gestures. It begins with simple, intentional acts of kindness that ripple outward in ways you may never fully see, but will undoubtedly feel. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. It can paralyze us, limit our growth, and cloud our ability to see life clearly. Buddhism offers a profound antidote to fear: equanimity. Equanimity, or upekkha in Pali, is the practice of maintaining a calm, balanced mind in the face of life's uncertainties. It doesn't mean indifference or suppression of emotions, but rather a deep, unshakable inner peace that arises from wisdom and acceptance. At its core, equanimity is about perspective. Fear often arises because we attach ourselves to specific outcomes or resist the inevitable changes of life. We fear loss, failure, rejection, or pain because we believe we won't be able to handle them. Buddhism teaches that suffering is rooted in our clinging and aversion, the desire to hold on to what we want and avoid what we don't. Equanimity helps us transcend this by fostering acceptance of life's impermanence and unpredictability. To cultivate equanimity, the first step is understanding the nature of fear itself. Fear is not inherently negative. It's a natural response to perceived threats. However, much of our fear is not grounded in present danger, but in imagined scenarios and what-ifs. When we allow fear to dominate our thoughts, we create unnecessary suffering. Buddhism invites us to investigate our fears with curiosity instead of avoidance. By bringing awareness to fear, we begin to see it for what it truly is: a mental construct, often exaggerated by our minds. Meditation is a powerful tool in this process. Through mindfulness meditation, we can observe fear without judgment, letting it rise and fall like waves in the ocean. Instead of being swept away by the current, we learn to sit with the sensation, noticing its impermanence. In doing so, fear loses its grip on us. We realize that emotions, like all things, are temporary and cannot harm us unless we let them. The Buddhist teaching of the four immeasurables, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, offers a framework for overcoming fear. Equanimity, the fourth immeasurable, is often described as the foundation that supports the other three. It allows us to approach life with steadiness and impartiality, unshaken by praise or blame, gain or loss, pleasure or pain. This balance doesn't mean we become emotionless, but rather that we develop the strength to remain centered, no matter what arises. One way to practice equanimity is through reflection on the law of impermanence, or anicca. Everything in life, our possessions, relationships, successes, and even our bodies, is subject to change. Fear often stems from a refusal to accept this reality. We fear losing what we have or failing to achieve what we desire. By embracing impermanence, we let go of the illusion of control and learn to flow with life's changes rather than resist them. Another practice is detachment, not in the sense of withdrawal, but in releasing the tight grip of attachment. When we hold on to things, whether material possessions, identities, or outcomes, we create fertile ground for fear. What if we lose them? What if things don't go as planned? Detachment allows us to appreciate life without clinging, knowing that our inner peace does not depend on external circumstances. Equanimity also teaches us to trust in our ability to face whatever comes our way. Fear often convinces us that we're incapable of handling adversity, but this is rarely true. Buddhist teachings remind us that we possess inner resources, courage, resilience, and wisdom that enable us to navigate life's challenges. By cultivating equanimity, we strengthen our confidence in these qualities, making fear less daunting. Practical application of equanimity extends beyond meditation and reflection. It's about how we respond to everyday situations. Imagine receiving bad news, such as a setback at work or a conflict in a relationship. The initial reaction might be fear, frustration, or anger. Equanimity invites you to pause, take a deep breath, and observe your reaction without being consumed by it. You might ask yourself, is this fear based on reality or assumptions? Can I control this situation, or must I simply accept it? This moment of mindfulness creates space for a measured, thoughtful response rather than a reactive one. Equanimity also plays a vital role in how we relate to others. Fear often arises in relationships, fear of rejection, judgment, or loss. By practicing equanimity, we cultivate an open heart that remains steady regardless of how others behave. This doesn't mean we tolerate harmful behavior, but we approach interactions with compassion and clarity rather than fear and defensiveness. Over time, this strengthens our relationships and reduces the anxiety that often accompanies them. The journey to equanimity is not about eliminating fear entirely. That's neither realistic nor necessary. Instead, it's about changing our relationship with fear. By cultivating equanimity, we create a mental and emotional space that allows fear to exist without overpowering us. We learn to see fear as a teacher rather than an enemy, guiding us toward greater self-awareness and inner peace. As equanimity takes root in your life, you'll notice profound changes. Situations that once triggered anxiety or panic now feel more manageable. You respond to challenges with calmness and clarity rather than impulsiveness. Relationships become more harmonious as you let go of fear-driven behaviors. And most importantly, you discover a deep reservoir of peace within yourself that no external circumstance can shake. Equanimity doesn't promise a life free from uncertainty or hardship. What it offers is the strength to face whatever comes with grace and resilience. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, this inner steadiness is a priceless gift. It's not about controlling the waves, but learning to surf them with confidence and ease. Through the practice of equanimity, you transform fear from a barrier into a bridge, leading you to greater freedom, balance, and joy. Suffering is an inevitable part of life. It's woven into the human experience, manifesting in countless forms: loss, heartbreak, failure, uncertainty. But in Buddhism, suffering is not something to be merely endured or avoided. It is a profound opportunity for transformation. Through the lens of Buddhist teachings, suffering becomes a catalyst for growth, a stepping stone to greater strength and self-awareness. At the heart of this perspective lies the first of the Four Noble Truths, the truth of dukkha, or suffering. Buddhism acknowledges that life is marked by dissatisfaction, pain, and impermanence. While this may seem pessimistic at first glance, it's actually a deeply compassionate recognition of reality. By confronting suffering head-on, we open the door to liberation. The transformative power of suffering begins with understanding its roots. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises from tanha, or craving, our insatiable desire for things to be different than they are. We crave pleasure, permanence, and control, and when reality falls short of these expectations, we suffer. This understanding empowers us to shift our focus inward. Instead of trying to control external circumstances, we can work on changing our relationship with suffering itself. One of the most profound Buddhist teachings on transforming suffering comes from the concept of kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. While not explicitly Buddhist, this philosophy echoes Buddhist principles of embracing imperfection and finding beauty in the broken. Just as a shattered bowl becomes more beautiful through its golden scars, we too can emerge stronger and more resilient from our suffering. The first step in this transformation is acceptance. Often, our instinct is to resist suffering, to push it away or numb it with distractions. But resistance only amplifies our pain. Buddhism invites us to lean into our suffering, to sit with it and acknowledge it without judgment. This is not a passive resignation, but an active process of allowing ourselves to fully experience our emotions. In doing so, we begin to see that suffering, like all things, is impermanent. It ebbs and flows, and its intensity diminishes when we stop fighting it. Meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating this acceptance. Mindfulness meditation, in particular, teaches us to observe our thoughts and feelings without attachment. When we bring a mindful awareness to our suffering, we create space between ourselves and our pain. This space allows us to respond with compassion and curiosity rather than reactivity. We can ask, what is this suffering trying to teach me? How can I grow from this experience? One of Buddhism's greatest insights is that suffering can lead to wisdom. Just as fire refines gold, challenges refine our character and reveal our inner strength. When we face adversity, we are forced to confront our limitations and question our assumptions. This process of self-inquiry often leads to profound personal growth. We learn resilience, patience, and the ability to find peace even in difficult circumstances. Consider the story of the Buddha himself. Before attaining enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama encountered immense suffering. He left his life of luxury to seek the truth about existence, enduring years of physical and mental hardship. It was through these trials that he gained the insights that would form the foundation of Buddhism. His journey illustrates that suffering, when approached with the right mindset, can be a powerful teacher. Another key aspect of transforming suffering is cultivating compassion for ourselves and for others. When we suffer, it's easy to feel isolated, as though we are the only ones experiencing pain. But Buddhism reminds us that suffering is universal. By recognizing this shared humanity, we can turn our pain into a source of connection and empathy. This shift not only alleviates our own suffering, but also inspires us to support others in their struggles. The practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation, can help us develop this compassion. In this meditation, we silently repeat phrases of goodwill, first for ourselves and then for others, including those who have caused us pain. This practice softens our hearts and transforms anger or resentment into understanding. It reminds us that suffering is not a punishment, but a part of life, and that we have the capacity to face it with grace. Another Buddhist principle that aids in transforming suffering is the idea of anatta, or no-self. When we experience suffering, we often take it personally, as though it defines who we are. Buddhism teaches that this is a misconception. Our identity is not fixed, it is constantly evolving. By letting go of attachment to a rigid sense of self, we free ourselves to see suffering as just one moment in the ever-changing flow of life. It does not define us, nor does it limit our potential for growth. Practically, this means embracing challenges as opportunities to practice equanimity and self-awareness. When faced with adversity, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective transforms us from passive victims to active participants in our own growth. We take ownership of our suffering and use it as fuel for transformation. Finally, gratitude plays a crucial role in this process. It may seem counterintuitive to be grateful for suffering, but Buddhism teaches that gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity. By focusing on what we can learn and how we can grow, we reframe our pain as a gift rather than a burden. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulty of our experiences, but recognizing that even the most challenging moments have value. Transforming suffering into strength is not a quick or easy process. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to face discomfort. But the rewards are profound. When we learn to embrace suffering as a teacher, we unlock a wellspring of resilience and wisdom within ourselves. We discover that our capacity for growth is limitless and that even the darkest moments can lead to light. In the end, suffering is not an obstacle, but a gateway. It invites us to step beyond our comfort zones, to confront our fears, and to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world. Through the teachings of Buddhism, we find the tools to navigate this journey with courage and grace, emerging not only stronger, but also more compassionate and connected to the essence of life itself. In the journey of self-reinvention, finding balance is one of the most critical lessons. Buddhism offers a timeless guide to this pursuit in the form of the middle way, a principle that advocates avoiding extremes and seeking harmony in all aspects of life. At its core, the middle way is about embracing moderation and rejecting the polarities of indulgence and deprivation. It is a philosophy of balance that applies not only to spiritual practice, but to every decision and action in daily life. The origins of the middle way trace back to the Buddha's own life story. Before his enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama experienced both extremes of human existence. Born a prince, he indulged in every luxury imaginable, shielded from the suffering of the world. Later, in his quest for truth, he renounced all worldly pleasures and practiced severe asceticism, pushing his body to the brink of death. Yet neither path brought him peace or understanding. It was only when he abandoned both extremes and embraced a balanced approach that he attained enlightenment. This revelation forms the foundation of Buddhist practice. The middle way teaches that extremes, whether in thought, behavior, or lifestyle, lead to imbalance and suffering. When we swing too far toward indulgence, we become enslaved by our desires, chasing fleeting pleasures that never truly satisfy. On the other hand, excessive self-denial can leave us disconnected, depleted, and unable to thrive. Balance, therefore, is the key to navigating life with clarity and purpose. Applying the middle way begins with self-awareness. Many of us unconsciously gravitate toward extremes, whether it's overworking ourselves in pursuit of success or overindulging in comfort to escape stress. To find balance, we must first recognize where these tendencies manifest in our lives. Are we pushing ourselves too hard, ignoring our physical or emotional needs? Or are we avoiding challenges, retreating into habits that offer temporary relief but little long-term growth? Once we identify these patterns, the middle way invites us to recalibrate. It's not about achieving a perfect equilibrium in every moment, but rather striving for harmony over time. For example, if you've been neglecting self-care due to a demanding schedule, balance might mean carving out time for rest and reflection. Conversely, if you've been avoiding responsibility, it might mean stepping up to face challenges with renewed commitment. The middle way is dynamic. It adapts to your circumstances, guiding you toward choices that foster well-being and alignment with your values. In practical terms, the middle way can transform how we approach daily decisions. Consider your relationship with work. Many people oscillate between burnout and procrastination, either pushing themselves too hard or avoiding tasks altogether. The middle way suggests finding a sustainable rhythm, setting boundaries to prevent exhaustion while cultivating the discipline to stay productive. This balanced approach not only enhances efficiency, but also nurtures a healthier relationship with your ambitions. The middle way also applies to our relationships. In our interactions with others, we often veer toward extremes, being overly accommodating or excessively rigid. Balance means setting healthy boundaries while remaining compassionate and open. It's about giving and receiving in equal measure, fostering connections that are mutually fulfilling rather than one-sided. One of the most profound applications of the middle way is in how we treat ourselves. Many people oscillate between self-criticism and self-indulgence, either judging themselves harshly or avoiding accountability altogether. The middle way encourages self-compassion balanced with self-discipline. It's about acknowledging your imperfections without letting them define you, and striving for growth without resorting to punishment. This balanced perspective fosters a healthier sense of self-worth and resilience. The principle of the middle way extends beyond individual behavior to our worldview. It encourages us to reject dogmatic thinking and embrace nuance. In a world often polarized by ideology, the middle way reminds us that truth is rarely found in extremes. By remaining open-minded and seeking common ground, we can navigate complex issues with wisdom and empathy. A key aspect of the middle way is its focus on impermanence. Buddhism teaches that all things are transient, and clinging to extremes only exacerbates our suffering. Balance involves embracing this impermanence, letting go of rigid expectations, and flowing with the natural rhythms of life. This perspective frees us from the pressure to control every outcome, allowing us to adapt with grace and resilience. To cultivate the middle way, mindfulness is essential. When we practice mindfulness, we become more attuned to our thoughts, emotions, and actions, allowing us to recognize when we're veering toward extremes. Through meditation and reflection, we develop the clarity to make intentional choices that align with balance and harmony. Another valuable practice is gratitude. By appreciating what we have rather than fixating on what we lack, we shift our focus from extremes to the present moment. Gratitude grounds us in reality, helping us see that balance is not about achieving more, but about finding contentment with what is. It's important to remember that the middle way is not a static destination, but an ongoing process. Life will inevitably pull us toward extremes, and maintaining balance requires continuous effort. However, with each step we take toward the middle way, we strengthen our ability to navigate life's challenges with equanimity and wisdom. The middle way is more than a philosophical concept. It's a practical guide for living a fulfilling life. By rejecting extremes and embracing harmony, we create a foundation for growth, resilience, and inner peace. In a world that often pushes us to choose sides, to be all or nothing, The middle way offers a refreshing alternative, a path of moderation, mindfulness, and meaningful engagement. It is through this balanced approach that we not only reinvent ourselves, but also rediscover the joy and clarity that come from living in alignment with our truest selves. Transformation begins with intention. In Buddhism, right intention is one of the key elements of the Noble Eightfold Path, serving as a guide for aligning your inner purpose with your external actions. It's about moving through life with clarity, focus, and a deep connection to your values. In the context of reinvention, right intention becomes the cornerstone of meaningful change, allowing you to create a life that is not only successful, but also deeply fulfilling. Right intention can be thought of as the compass for your journey. Before you can change your habits, relationships, or circumstances, you must first clarify your direction. What do you want to achieve? Why does it matter to you? Are your goals rooted in genuine aspirations, or are they influenced by societal expectations and fleeting desires? Buddhism encourages us to explore these questions deeply, peeling back the layers of superficial ambition to uncover our true purpose. The process begins with self-reflection. Many of us set goals without fully understanding their origin or implications. We chase achievements that seem impressive on the surface, wealth, status, recognition, only to find ourselves unfulfilled when we attain them. Right intention urges us to pause and examine our motivations. Are they aligned with our deeper values, or are they driven by external pressures? This kind of introspection helps us differentiate between goals that bring lasting joy and those that leave us feeling empty. In practical terms, setting clear goals means being intentional about your priorities. Consider the areas of your life that matter most: relationships, health, personal growth, career, and community. Reflect on what success looks like in each area, not based on external standards, but on what resonates with your authentic self. For example, in your career, success might not mean climbing the corporate ladder, but finding work that aligns with your passions and allows you to contribute meaningfully. Once you have clarity on your priorities, right intention asks you to align your actions with your goals. This alignment is crucial because it bridges the gap between intention and reality. It's easy to dream about change, but without actionable steps, those dreams remain distant. Right intention transforms vague aspirations into a concrete path forward, ensuring that your daily choices reflect your long-term vision. This alignment requires mindfulness. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to lose sight of our goals amidst the noise of distractions and demands. Right intention calls for consistent awareness, reminding us to check in with ourselves regularly. Are our actions moving us closer to our goals, or are we getting sidetracked? This kind of ongoing self-assessment keeps us grounded and focused, preventing us from drifting into habits or decisions that undermine our progress. Another critical aspect of right intention is the ethical foundation it provides. In Buddhism, right intention is closely tied to moral principles, emphasizing kindness, compassion, and non-harm. This means that our goals should not only serve our personal growth, but also contribute positively to the lives of others. When our intentions are rooted in empathy and generosity, they carry a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. For example, consider someone pursuing financial success. Without right intention, this goal could lead to unethical practices or a singular focus on personal gain at the expense of others. However, when guided by right intention, the same goal might be pursued in a way that fosters community, creates opportunities for others, or supports charitable causes. The difference lies in the underlying motivation, a shift from self-centered ambition to purposeful action. To cultivate right intention, it's helpful to adopt practices that nurture clarity and focus. Meditation is a powerful tool for this purpose. Through meditation, you can quiet the mind, connect with your inner self, and gain insight into what truly matters to you. Journaling is another effective practice, allowing you to articulate your goals and reflect on your progress over time. Both practices create space for self-awareness, helping you align your intentions with your values. It's also important to acknowledge that right intention is an evolving process. As you grow and change, so too will your goals and priorities. This fluidity is not a sign of inconsistency, but a reflection of your ongoing journey of self-discovery. Embracing this adaptability allows you to stay aligned with your authentic self, even as your circumstances shift. Right intention is not about perfection, it's about progress. There will be moments when you falter, when your actions don't fully align with your values, or when you feel uncertain about your direction. In these moments, Buddhism teaches us to respond with self-compassion and perseverance. Rather than judging yourself harshly, use these experiences as opportunities to learn and realign. Each step, no matter how small, contributes to your growth. Ultimately, right intention is about living with purpose. It's about waking up each day with a sense of clarity and commitment, knowing that your actions are moving you closer to a life that reflects your truest self. It's about setting goals that matter, not because they impress others, but because they resonate deeply with your own heart. And it's about pursuing those goals with integrity, ensuring that your journey is as meaningful as the destination. In the quest for reinvention, right intention serves as both a starting point and a guiding principle. It grounds you in your values, fuels your actions with purpose, and keeps you aligned with the path of transformation. By embracing right intention, you not only create a blueprint for personal growth, but also cultivate a life of authenticity, balance, and profound fulfillment. True transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's not a grand, sweeping gesture or a single moment of brilliance. It's the product of sustained, deliberate action over time. In Buddhism, this principle is encapsulated in right effort, one of the steps of the Eightfold Path. It teaches us that meaningful change isn't about being perfect, but about being consistent. By focusing on small, intentional steps, you can move steadily toward your goals without being overwhelmed by the magnitude of the journey ahead. Right effort begins with the understanding that effort must be purposeful and directed. It's not about working tirelessly for the sake of staying busy, nor is it about pursuing perfection in every endeavor. Instead, it's about channeling your energy into actions that align with your values and bring you closer to your goals. This intentionality transforms effort from a draining pursuit into a fulfilling practice. In practical terms, this means setting realistic and achievable goals. Many people fall into the trap of setting grandiose targets that, while inspiring, are unsustainable in the long run. They start strong, but quickly burn out, discouraged by the gap between their aspirations and their reality. Right effort encourages a different approach. Start small and build momentum gradually. Each small step, no matter how insignificant it may seem, contributes to the larger picture of your transformation. For example, if your goal is to cultivate mindfulness, you don't need to meditate for an hour every day from the outset. Begin with just 5 minutes. Sit quietly, Focus on your breath and let yourself settle into the practice. Over time, as this habit becomes second nature, you can expand it. The same principle applies to any goal, whether it's improving your health, building a new skill, or fostering better relationships. Consistency is the key that unlocks progress. Right effort also emphasizes the importance of balance. Too much effort can lead to burnout, while too little can result in stagnation. In Buddhism, this is often likened to tuning the strings of a musical instrument. If the string is too tight, it will snap. If it's too loose, it won't play a note. Finding the right tension, an effort that is steady but not excessive, is essential for sustainable growth. To cultivate right effort, it's important to recognize and eliminate actions or habits that detract from your goals. This might mean letting go of distractions, breaking free from unproductive routines, or distancing yourself from negative influences. These changes create space for positive habits to take root and flourish. It's not about perfection, but about progress, recognizing when you've strayed off course and gently guiding yourself back. A central aspect of right effort is mindfulness. When you're mindful of your actions, you're able to discern whether they align with your intentions. You can evaluate whether the effort you're putting in is productive, or if it's driven by ego, fear, or external pressures. This awareness allows you to make adjustments, ensuring that your energy is directed toward what truly matters. In the modern world, it's easy to become fixated on immediate results. We're surrounded by messages that glorify quick wins and overnight success. But Buddhism reminds us that true transformation is a gradual process. The bamboo tree, often used as a metaphor, takes years to grow its roots underground before it shoots upward seemingly overnight. Similarly, the small efforts you make today may not yield visible results immediately, but over time they create a solid foundation for lasting change. Patience plays a crucial role in right effort. When progress feels slow or setbacks arise, it's tempting to give up. But persistence, fueled by a clear vision and steady effort, ensures that you stay the course. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate these moments of progress and let them motivate you to continue. Right effort also involves cultivating positive mental states while avoiding negative ones. This means fostering qualities like compassion, kindness, and determination while letting go of anger, resentment, and doubt. These mental states influence your actions and create a ripple effect in your life. When your effort is rooted in positivity, it becomes a source of joy rather than a burden. Importantly, right effort is not about comparing yourself to others. Your path is uniquely yours, shaped by your experiences, values, and goals. Instead of measuring your progress against external benchmarks, focus on your own growth. Are you a step closer to where you want to be than you were yesterday? That's what matters. To put right effort into practice, consider creating a system of small, manageable steps that align with your goals. Break your larger aspirations into daily or weekly actions and track your progress. Celebrate your wins, no matter how minor they may seem, and use setbacks as opportunities to learn and adjust. This approach keeps you engaged and motivated, reinforcing the habit of consistent effort. Another practical strategy is to surround yourself with supportive influences. Whether it's friends, mentors, or a community that shares your values, these connections can provide encouragement and accountability. They remind you of why you started and inspire you to keep going when the journey feels challenging. Ultimately, right effort is about embracing the process of growth. It's about showing up every day with intention, knowing that each small step contributes to a greater purpose. It's about being patient with yourself, understanding that transformation takes time, and it's about finding fulfillment not just in the destination, but in the journey itself. By cultivating right effort, you create a rhythm of purposeful action that aligns with your values and goals. You learn to navigate challenges with resilience, celebrate progress with gratitude, and approach life with a sense of steady determination. In doing so, you transform not only your actions, but also your mindset, creating a life of meaningful and sustainable growth. Living in alignment with your values is the cornerstone of a fulfilling life. In Buddhism, this principle is encapsulated in right action, a step within the Eightfold Path that calls for ethical and intentional living. Right action isn't merely about following rules, it's about embodying your highest self through the choices you make every day. When your actions align with your values, you create a life of integrity, purpose, and inner peace. At its core, right action is about doing what is morally sound and beneficial, not just for yourself, but for others and the world around you. It encourages you to reflect deeply on your values and to ensure your decisions and behaviors consistently honor those principles. This isn't always easy, especially in a world that often prioritizes convenience or self-interest over integrity. However, the rewards of living authentically far outweigh the temporary discomfort of standing firm in your convictions. The first step in practicing right action is clarity. What are your core values? What principles do you hold sacred? Perhaps you value kindness, honesty, or fairness. Maybe you're committed to contributing positively to your community or protecting the environment. Whatever your values are, they should serve as the foundation for your decisions. When you act in alignment with these values, you create a sense of harmony within yourself, as there's no inner conflict between what you believe and what you do. Right. Action also involves mindfulness. Before taking any action, it's important to pause and reflect. Does this decision align with my values? Will it contribute to the well-being of others or cause harm? This moment of self-inquiry can prevent impulsive choices driven by fleeting emotions, such as anger, fear, or desire. Instead, it allows you to act with intention and purpose. For example, consider a situation where you're faced with the temptation to engage in gossip. While it might provide a momentary sense of connection or satisfaction, ask yourself whether it aligns with your values. If you value kindness and integrity, participating in gossip would contradict those principles. By choosing not to engage, you reaffirm your commitment to your values and strengthen your sense of self-respect. In Buddhism, right action specifically emphasizes refraining from actions that harm others, such as killing, stealing, or engaging in harmful speech. While these might seem like straightforward moral directives, their deeper application invites you to examine subtler forms of harm. Are you acting out of impatience or frustration in your relationships? Are you taking advantage of someone's vulnerability, even unintentionally? Are you neglecting your responsibilities in ways that create ripple effects for others? Right. Action calls for a compassionate awareness of how your choices impact the world. Moreover, living in alignment with your values often requires courage. It might mean standing up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular. It could involve making sacrifices, such as leaving a lucrative job that conflicts with your principles, or walking away from relationships that don't honor your worth. These decisions can be challenging, but they are essential for living authentically. Right action also extends to how you treat yourself. Are you honoring your own needs and well-being, or are you compromising them to please others or meet societal expectations? Self-compassion is a crucial aspect of ethical living. When you treat yourself with kindness and respect, you set the standard for how others should treat you and create the inner strength needed to uphold your values. It's important to recognize that no one is perfect. There will be times when you fall short of your ideals or make mistakes. In these moments, right action encourages self-reflection rather than self-condemnation. What can you learn from this experience? How can you make amends if necessary and recommit to your values moving forward? This process of learning and growth is integral to ethical living. To integrate right action into your daily life, consider starting with small, intentional practices. For example, if kindness is one of your values, commit to performing one small act of kindness each day, whether it's offering a compliment, helping a colleague, or simply smiling at a stranger. If honesty is important to you, practice speaking your truth gently and respectfully, even in difficult situations. These small, consistent actions not only reinforce your values, but also create a positive ripple effect in the world. Another practical approach is to cultivate awareness of your habits and routines. Are there areas where your actions don't align with your values? Perhaps you value sustainability, but find yourself frequently using disposable plastics. Or maybe you value deep, meaningful connections, but spend more time on social media than with loved ones. By identifying these gaps, you can make conscious adjustments to bring your actions into greater alignment with your principles. Community also plays a significant role in supporting right action. Surrounding yourself with people who share your values can provide encouragement and accountability. Whether it's a friend, mentor, or spiritual group, these connections can remind you of your principles when the path feels challenging and inspire you to live with integrity. Ultimately, right action is about embodying your values in every aspect of your life, from your relationships to your work to your self-care practices. It's a call to live intentionally, to choose actions that reflect your higher self, and to contribute positively to the world around you. While the journey may be imperfect, each step you take in alignment with your values strengthens your character, deepens your sense of purpose, and brings you closer to a life of authenticity and fulfillment. By committing to right action, you create a foundation of trust, not just with others, but with yourself. You know that your actions are guided by principles, not impulses or external pressures. This sense of integrity fosters inner peace and resilience, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. In living authentically, you not only transform your own life, but also inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change in the world. Change is an inescapable part of life. Yet, for many, it's also one of the most challenging aspects to embrace. The Buddhist concept of anicca, or impermanence, offers a powerful lens to view change not as something to fear, but as an ally in personal growth and reinvention. At its core, anicca teaches us that everything, our experiences, emotions, relationships, and even our sense of self, is transient. By understanding and accepting this truth, we can unlock incredible freedom and potential for transformation. Impermanence is often seen as a source of suffering because humans tend to cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves them. Whether it's holding on to outdated beliefs, resisting shifts in our personal lives, or fearing the unknown, The root of this struggle lies in attachment. Buddhism reminds us that by embracing impermanence, we can let go of this clinging and open ourselves to growth and renewal. To see anicca in action, consider nature. Seasons change, rivers flow, and even the mightiest mountains erode over time. These transformations are not disruptions, but integral to the balance and beauty of the natural world. Similarly, change in our own lives is not an interruption to be resisted, but a natural progression to be embraced. Recognizing this allows us to approach life's transitions, both expected and unexpected, with grace and resilience. When you accept impermanence as a fact of life, it becomes a tool for reinvention. Change means that no situation, no failure, and no pain is permanent. This perspective shifts the narrative of hardship from despair to hope. If you're struggling with a difficult relationship, a job you dislike, or feelings of self-doubt, anicca offers the assurance that these conditions are temporary. This realization empowers you to let go of what's holding you back and take steps toward creating something new. Reinvention requires us to embrace change, not just passively, but actively. Start by reflecting on areas of your life where you may be resisting transformation. Are you staying in a comfort zone that no longer feels fulfilling? Are you holding on to an old identity or role out of fear of the unknown? Often, clinging to what's familiar feels safer, but it also prevents growth. Anicca encourages us to trust the process of change and to see each ending as the beginning of something new. Consider the stories of people who've experienced profound reinvention. Think of someone who overcame failure by viewing it as a lesson rather than a defeat, or someone who turned heartbreak into an opportunity for self-discovery. These transformations happen because of, not in spite of, impermanence. Change is what makes reinvention possible. It's the canvas on which we can paint a new version of ourselves. One practical way to embrace change is through mindfulness. Mindfulness trains us to live fully in the present moment, where we can observe the ebb and flow of our experiences without judgment. When practiced consistently, mindfulness reveals that impermanence is not a threat, but a constant companion. For example, you might notice that feelings of sadness or anger, while intense, naturally fade over time. This awareness teaches us that no emotion or circumstance is eternal, providing comfort and perspective during difficult times. Another way to align with anicca is by reframing challenges as opportunities. Instead of lamenting what has been lost or what might go wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? This mindset turns the inevitability of change into a catalyst for self-improvement. For example, losing a job might seem devastating at first, but it could also be the push you need to pursue a more fulfilling career. A breakup might be painful, but it can also open the door to rediscovering your own identity and passions. Practicing gratitude can also help you embrace impermanence. When we appreciate the fleeting nature of life, we learn to value each moment and connection more deeply. Imagine how your relationships might change if you approached every interaction with the awareness that it won't last forever. Would you hold grudges, or would you express love and appreciation more freely? Impermanence makes life precious, not pointless. Anicca also invites us to let go of the illusion of control. While it's natural to plan and prepare, clinging to rigid expectations often leads to disappointment. Life's beauty lies in its unpredictability. By surrendering to the flow of change, you can experience a sense of freedom and adaptability that allows you to navigate uncertainty with confidence. This doesn't mean giving up on goals or ambitions. Rather, it means remaining open to unexpected paths and outcomes. One of the most profound lessons of Anika is its ability to dissolve fear. Much of our anxiety stems from a desire to make things permanent, whether it's a happy moment we want to last forever or a fear of losing something we value. By accepting that everything is transient, we release the need to control or cling, which in turn reduces fear. This creates space for courage and creativity to emerge, allowing us to take risks and embrace new possibilities. Anika also reminds us of the power of self-compassion during times of change. Reinvention can be challenging, and setbacks are inevitable. Instead of criticizing yourself for not having it all figured out, recognize that you're a work in progress, just like everyone else. Change is messy and non-linear, but it's also what makes growth possible. Treat yourself with the same kindness and patience you would offer a friend navigating a similar journey. To fully integrate Anika into your life, start small. Make a habit of noticing the impermanence around you, the weather, the seasons, your emotions, even the way your thoughts evolve throughout the day. Use these observations as reminders that change is natural and constant. Then, apply this understanding to your own life by embracing opportunities for growth and letting go of what no longer serves you. The beauty of Anika lies in its universality. Whether you're facing a major life transition or simply trying to improve your daily habits, the principle of impermanence can guide you toward reinvention. By seeing change as your greatest ally rather than your greatest fear, you unlock the freedom to create a life that aligns with your values, aspirations, and highest potential. Rebirth is one of the most transformative ideas in Buddhism, symbolizing the perpetual cycle of renewal. While traditionally tied to the concept of samsara, or the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, this philosophy also carries a profound metaphorical meaning for our daily lives. Every morning we wake up is an opportunity for reinvention, for letting go of the past and embracing the present with fresh eyes. Each day offers us a chance to begin anew, unburdened by yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's uncertainties. The beauty of this concept lies in its simplicity. You don't have to wait for monumental life events or dramatic transformations to change. Every sunrise is a reset button, a blank canvas waiting for your brushstrokes. By seeing each day as a new beginning, you empower yourself to live with intention, gratitude, and clarity. Often we carry yesterday's baggage into today. Mistakes, disappointments, and lingering frustrations follow us like shadows. Buddhism teaches us to release these attachments. The past is gone. It exists only in your memory. Clinging to it drains energy from the present, where life truly happens. When you treat each day as a rebirth, you give yourself permission to forgive your past self, to learn from it, and to move forward unencumbered. This mindset also reframes failures. When you stumble, it's easy to spiral into self-doubt or defeat. But what if you viewed each failure as a moment in a larger cycle, an event that resets with each new day? Just as the seasons shift and flowers bloom again after the harshest winters, so too can you rise after setbacks. Rebirth reminds us that nothing is permanent, not even our lowest moments. Each sunrise brings with it the potential for growth and renewal. Practically, embracing this philosophy means starting your day with mindfulness and intention. Upon waking, take a few moments to ground yourself. Breathe deeply, acknowledging the gift of a new day. Instead of diving into the chaos of emails, news, or social media, set a conscious tone for your morning. Ask yourself, what do I want to carry forward today? What do I want to leave behind? This small ritual can create a powerful shift in your mindset, setting the stage for a more intentional and fulfilling day. Rebirth is not just about forgetting the past, but learning to integrate its lessons without letting them define you. If you struggled yesterday with anger, impatience, or doubt, today is your chance to respond differently. Growth doesn't happen in a single leap. It's built incrementally through small, consistent choices. Each day offers you a platform to practice being the person you aspire to be. This idea also extends to relationships. Every interaction you have can be an opportunity to start fresh. Maybe there's someone you've clashed with recently, a colleague, a friend, or a family member. Instead of holding on to resentment or past grievances, approach the relationship today with an open heart. Offer kindness, even if it wasn't reciprocated before. Treat the connection as if it's being formed for the first time. This doesn't mean ignoring boundaries or condoning harm, but rather recognizing that people, like days, are always changing. In Buddhism, the notion of impermanence, anicca, ties closely to rebirth. The transient nature of life means that nothing stays the same, not your emotions, your circumstances, or even who you are as a person. This constant state of flux is not something to fear, but to celebrate. It means that no matter where you are in life, no matter how stuck or overwhelmed you feel, change is always possible. Each morning is proof of that. Consider how this perspective can liberate you from rigid self-definitions. We often label ourselves based on past experiences. I'm bad at relationships, I'm not disciplined, or I always fail at this. These narratives become self-fulfilling prophecies, trapping us in cycles of doubt and stagnation. Rebirth challenges these limitations. Who you were yesterday doesn't dictate who you are today. You are free to rewrite your story, to surprise yourself with new choices and possibilities. Embracing rebirth also fosters gratitude. When you view each day as a fresh start, you begin to appreciate its uniqueness. No two mornings are identical, just as no two breaths or moments are the same. This awareness encourages you to savor the present rather than rushing through it. Instead of waking up with a sense of routine or monotony, you wake up with curiosity and wonder. What will today bring? How can I make the most of it? This approach doesn't mean dismissing long-term goals or plans. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of breaking them into manageable, daily actions. If your dream is to write a book, today is the day to write a single paragraph. If you want to improve your health, today is the day to take a walk or prepare a nourishing meal. By focusing on what you can do in the present, you build momentum without becoming overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. Rebirth is also a practice in self-compassion. Too often, we hold ourselves to impossible standards, expecting perfection and punishing ourselves for falling short. But just as nature doesn't expect a seed to bloom overnight, you shouldn't demand instant transformation from yourself. Treat each day as a chance to nurture your growth, knowing that progress takes time. Celebrate small victories and approach setbacks with patience and understanding. To fully embrace the concept of rebirth, it's helpful to cultivate a sense of ritual. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply pausing to set an intention, these practices can anchor you in the present and reinforce the idea that today is a new beginning. Over time, these rituals become a source of strength and clarity, helping you navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. As you integrate this philosophy into your life, you may notice subtle but profound shifts. Challenges feel less daunting because you know they're temporary. Mistakes sting less because you understand their opportunities for learning. Even the most ordinary days take on a sense of significance because they hold the potential for growth and discovery. Rebirth, in its essence, is about hope. It's the belief that no matter what happened yesterday, today holds the promise of something better. By embracing this mindset, you align yourself with one of the most powerful truths in Buddhism, that change is always possible, and every day is a chance to begin again. Wisdom, or prajna in Buddhist teachings, is the cornerstone of a meaningful life and the compass that guides us through the complexities of existence. In the pursuit of self-reinvention, cultivating wisdom becomes not just an aspiration, but a necessity. Prajna is not simply intellectual knowledge, it is a profound understanding of life's truths, gained through reflection, introspection, and lived experience. This kind of wisdom is transformative. It shapes how we perceive the world, how we respond to challenges, and how we align our actions with our deeper values. Reflection is the gateway to wisdom. It is through introspection that we begin to unravel the patterns of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. By observing ourselves with honesty and compassion, we can identify what serves our growth and what holds us back. This process isn't about judgment or self-criticism, it's about clarity. What motivates your actions? What fears or desires influence your choices? In asking these questions, you gain insight into your inner workings, illuminating the path to authentic growth. Self-awareness, a key element of prajna, invites you to step outside the autopilot mode of life. How often do we move through our days reacting to circumstances without pausing to reflect? Wisdom requires presence, the ability to observe your experiences as they unfold and to discern their deeper significance. This kind of mindfulness transforms even the mundane into a source of learning. A challenging conversation, for example, becomes an opportunity to examine your triggers and practice patience. A moment of joy reminds you of the importance of gratitude and connection. The Buddha taught that wisdom is cultivated through three practices: listening or learning, contemplation, and meditation. Listening refers to seeking knowledge, whether through studying teachings, engaging in meaningful dialogue, or observing the world around you. Contemplation involves taking that knowledge and turning it inward, reflecting on how it applies to your life and how it can guide your actions. Meditation, the deepest layer, allows you to connect with the stillness and clarity within, where true wisdom arises. Consider the analogy of a calm lake. When the surface is turbulent, it's impossible to see to the bottom. Similarly, when our minds are clouded with distractions, worries, and reactive thoughts, the deeper truths of life remain obscured. Meditation stills the surface, creating space for insight to emerge. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that we often find the answers we seek, not through striving or analyzing, but through allowing clarity to unfold naturally. Cultivating wisdom also means embracing impermanence and change, foundational principles in Buddhism. The more we reflect on the transient nature of life, the less tightly we cling to fleeting desires or resist inevitable challenges. Wisdom helps us see the bigger picture, reminding us that every moment, whether joyful or painful, is part of a larger tapestry. This perspective fosters resilience, enabling us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. A crucial aspect of prajna is the ability to differentiate between what truly matters and what is superficial. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of your deeper values and priorities. Reflection anchors you in what's essential, stripping away the noise to reveal the heart of what you seek. What brings you genuine fulfillment? What aligns with your purpose? These are questions that only wisdom, cultivated through introspection, can answer. Wisdom also serves as a foundation for ethical living. When you understand the interconnectedness of all beings, you naturally make choices that contribute to harmony rather than discord. This doesn't mean perfection or never making mistakes. It means approaching life with an intention to grow, learn, and act in ways that reflect your highest self. As your wisdom deepens, so does your capacity for compassion, kindness, and integrity. Practically, cultivating prajna involves integrating reflection into your daily life. This could mean setting aside time each evening to review your day. What did you learn? What challenges arose and how did you handle them? What would you like to do differently tomorrow? Journaling can be a powerful tool for this practice, helping you track your growth and identify recurring themes. Another way to deepen wisdom is to seek out diverse perspectives. Engage with books, teachings, or conversations that challenge your assumptions and expand your understanding. Wisdom thrives in curiosity, the willingness to question, explore, and remain open to new insights. Even when you feel certain about something, approach it with a beginner's mind, ready to see it from a fresh angle. It's also important to remember that wisdom isn't a destination, it's a lifelong journey. There will be moments of clarity and moments of confusion, and both are essential parts of the process. True wisdom acknowledges its own limitations, understanding that life's complexities often defy simple answers. This humility keeps you grounded, reminding you that every experience, no matter how small, has something to teach. As you cultivate prajna, you may notice a shift not only in how you perceive yourself, but also in how you interact with the world. Wisdom softens the edges of life's challenges, allowing you to approach them with equanimity rather than resistance. It deepens your connections with others, fostering empathy and understanding, and it anchors you in a sense of purpose, guiding your actions with clarity and intention. In the end, wisdom is not about accumulating knowledge, but about embodying understanding. It's about living in a way that reflects your values, aligns with your truths, and contributes to the well-being of yourself and others. Through reflection, mindfulness, and openness, you build a foundation of wisdom that supports every step of your journey. With prajna as your guide, reinvention becomes not just possible but inevitable, a natural unfolding of your truest, most authentic self. In a world brimming with distractions, silencing inner noise is not just a skill, it's a necessity for uncovering your true potential. The Buddhist path to quieting the mind offers a profound way to rise above the constant chatter of thoughts, emotions, and external influences. This silence isn't about the absence of sound, it's about creating space within yourself to hear what truly matters. Inner noise takes many forms. It's the endless stream of self-doubt, the overthinking about past mistakes, the anxiety about the future, and the external demands vying for your attention. Left unchecked, this noise drowns out the subtle voice of intuition and wisdom that resides within you. The good news is that quieting this noise is a skill you can cultivate, and Buddhism provides a roadmap to help you do so. At the heart of silencing inner noise is the practice of mindfulness. When the mind is noisy, it's often because we're entangled in thoughts rather than being present in the here and now. Mindfulness invites you to step out of this entanglement and anchor yourself in the present moment. Whether you're eating, walking, or simply sitting, focusing your attention on the sensations of the present helps dissipate the power of racing thoughts. The breath, simple and always with you, becomes a grounding force, a gentle reminder to return to what is. Meditation amplifies this practice. Sitting quietly with yourself may feel uncomfortable at first. After all, the inner noise can seem louder when you stop running from it. But this stillness is where the transformation begins. By observing your thoughts without judgment, you begin to see them for what they are, fleeting mental events rather than absolute truths. Over time, the grip of repetitive and unhelpful thoughts loosens, and a spacious clarity emerges. Buddhism also teaches us about the origins of inner noise. Much of it stems from craving and aversion, our constant yearning for things we think will make us happy, and our rejection of things we believe will cause discomfort. This cycle fuels a restless mind. When we let go of the need to control or cling to outcomes, the noise diminishes. Acceptance becomes a key tool. Instead of resisting the chaos within, acknowledge it with compassion. Like a storm passing through, it will subside. Another source of inner noise is the barrage of external distractions. In the modern age, our minds are bombarded by notifications, social media, advertisements, and an overwhelming amount of information. This overstimulation leaves little room for reflection or deep focus. Creating intentional boundaries is essential. Designate tech-free zones or times in your day. Prioritize activities that nourish your inner peace, such as journaling, spending time in nature, or engaging in creative pursuits. Inner noise is also amplified by unresolved emotions. Suppressing or ignoring feelings like anger, sadness, or fear doesn't make them disappear. It buries them, allowing them to bubble up in unexpected ways. Acknowledging and processing these emotions with mindfulness allows you to release their hold on you. As the Buddha taught, emotions are like visitors. They come and go. Observing them with curiosity rather than attachment helps them move on. Silencing inner noise doesn't mean silencing your thoughts altogether. Rather, it's about cultivating discernment, learning to recognize which thoughts deserve your attention and which do not. This discernment grows with the practice of mental clarity, or samatha, by training the mind to focus on a single point, like the breath or a mantra. You develop the ability to redirect your attention away from unhelpful thoughts and toward what truly matters. Self-compassion plays a crucial role in this process. Often, the harshest noise we face is our own self-criticism. Buddhism emphasizes treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer to a dear friend. When your mind spirals into negativity, remind yourself that these patterns are universal human experiences. Gently guide yourself back to the present, acknowledging your efforts without judgment. As you quiet the inner noise, what emerges is your true potential, your innate wisdom, creativity, and capacity for joy. When the mind is no longer clouded by distractions, you can see your goals, values, and purpose with greater clarity. This clarity fuels inspired action. You're no longer reacting impulsively to the world around you. Instead, you're responding thoughtfully from a place of inner alignment. Silencing inner noise doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual journey of practice and patience. Some days, the noise may feel overwhelming, while on others, a serene stillness takes hold. Both are part of the process. Celebrate the small victories, moments of calm amidst the chaos, the ability to pause before reacting, the growing awareness of your inner world. Ultimately, silencing inner noise is about creating space to breathe, to think, to feel, and to simply be. In this space, you uncover not just your true potential, but also a profound sense of peace and connection to life itself. It's a reminder that beneath the noise, you are already whole, already enough, and already capable of achieving anything you set your heart to. Forgiveness is one of the most profound acts of compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. In Buddhism, forgiveness is viewed as a powerful tool for personal liberation. It's not about excusing harmful actions or forgetting injustices. It's about releasing the grip of anger, resentment, and pain that weighs down your heart and mind. To forgive is to free yourself from a self-imposed prison, to let go of the toxic emotions that hinder your growth and happiness. At its core, forgiveness begins with understanding. Buddhism teaches that all beings are driven by their own suffering, desires, and ignorance. When someone causes harm, it's often a reflection of their inner turmoil, rather than a deliberate intent to hurt you. Recognizing this doesn't make their actions right, but it helps you see the humanity behind their mistakes. Compassion arises when you understand that, like you, others are navigating their struggles and imperfections. Holding on to resentment is like carrying a heavy stone in your heart. It drains your energy, clouds your mind, and prevents you from moving forward. You might replay the wrongs done to you, fueling anger and bitterness, but this cycle only deepens your suffering. Forgiveness, in contrast, is a conscious decision to put the stone down. It's not about condoning what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of carrying it. Forgiveness is not always immediate. It's a process that requires patience and courage. The first step is acknowledging the hurt you've experienced. Denying or suppressing your emotions only prolongs your pain. Allow yourself to feel the anger, sadness, or betrayal fully, but without judgment. This acknowledgement creates space for healing to begin. Next comes the practice of letting go. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to forget or pretending the pain doesn't exist. Letting go is about releasing the emotional attachment to the event or person. It's saying, I will no longer let this define me or control my peace. This step requires mindfulness and self-compassion. You may need to revisit it repeatedly as you work through layers of hurt. In Buddhism, meditation is a powerful ally in the practice of forgiveness. Loving kindness meditation, or metta bhavana, is particularly transformative. As you sit in stillness, you begin by directing kindness and goodwill toward yourself. Then, you expand this sense of compassion outward, to loved ones, acquaintances, and eventually to those who have caused you pain. This process is not about forcing feelings of love, but about cultivating an open heart and a willingness to wish others well, even those who have wronged you. Forgiveness also involves shifting your perspective. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can it help me grow? Challenges, even painful ones, often hold hidden lessons. They teach resilience, self-awareness, and the power of compassion. When you view forgiveness as an opportunity for personal growth, it becomes a gift you give yourself, not just others. An essential aspect of forgiveness is setting boundaries. Letting go of resentment doesn't mean allowing harmful behavior to continue. Forgiveness and self-respect go hand in hand. By forgiving, you release the emotional weight of the past, but you also stand firm in protecting your well-being and ensuring that your relationships are built on mutual respect. Self-forgiveness is just as vital as forgiving others. Often, the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You may carry guilt for past mistakes, regrets over missed opportunities, or shame for actions that didn't align with your values. Buddhism teaches that these feelings, while natural, are not permanent. They are like clouds passing through the sky. Self-forgiveness requires you to recognize your inherent worth, separate from your missteps, and to treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to your strength. It takes courage to face your pain, to release the hold it has over you, and to open your heart to healing. In forgiving, you reclaim your power. You are no longer a prisoner of the past, but a creator of your present and future. Imagine the freedom of living without grudges or resentment. Picture the lightness of heart that comes from releasing old wounds. This is what forgiveness offers, a path to inner peace, clarity, and personal transformation. It allows you to step out of the shadows of hurt and into the light of compassion. Through forgiveness, you don't just heal yourself, you contribute to a more compassionate world. When you choose to let go of anger and embrace understanding, you break the cycle of harm and inspire others to do the same. Your act of forgiveness becomes a ripple that spreads outward, creating a wave of healing and connection. In the end, forgiveness is an act of love. Love for yourself, for your growth, and for the peace you deserve. It's a reminder that while you cannot control the actions of others, you have the power to control your response. By letting go, you set yourself free, paving the way for a life of greater happiness, harmony, and fulfillment. Compassion is more than just an inner feeling. It is a force that has the power to change the world. In Buddhism, compassion, or karuna, is seen as one of the highest virtues, a way to connect deeply with others and alleviate suffering wherever it is found. But compassion doesn't end with intention. It becomes transformative when turned into action. Imagine the ripple effect of a single act of kindness. A warm smile, a helping hand, or a moment of genuine listening can spread far beyond the initial interaction. When you practice compassion in action, you inspire others to do the same, creating a chain reaction of goodwill that extends far beyond your immediate community. True compassion starts with presence. In a world filled with distractions, being fully present with someone is one of the most powerful gifts you can offer. When a friend shares their struggles or a stranger crosses your path in need, your undivided attention shows that they matter. Listening without judgment and offering empathy creates a safe space for others to feel seen, heard, and valued. Compassion in action also means recognizing suffering in its various forms and responding with a willingness to help. This doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes the smallest acts carry the most weight. Holding the door for someone, offering your seat, or even acknowledging someone's effort can create a moment of connection that brightens their day. These acts may seem simple, but their cumulative impact is profound. A central teaching of Buddhism is interconnectedness, the idea that we are all connected, not just to one another, but to everything in the universe. When you act with compassion, you're not just helping someone else. You're strengthening this web of connection. The benefits of your kindness extend to you as well. Studies have shown that practicing compassion can improve mental health, reduce stress, and increase overall well-being. It's a reminder that the giver often gains as much as the receiver. To bring compassion into action, start by observing the needs around you. Perhaps there's a colleague overwhelmed by their workload who could use a kind word or an offer of support. Maybe there's a family member you've been meaning to check in on, or a neighbor who would appreciate your time. Compassion doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It arises from your willingness to act in the present. Compassionate action also extends to larger systems. Consider volunteering for causes close to your heart, such as feeding the homeless, supporting mental health initiatives, or protecting the environment. These efforts, while seemingly small in the grand scheme, create ripples that contribute to collective progress. Each individual contribution builds toward a better world. Compassion in action also requires mindfulness of the self. Often, we overlook the importance of self-compassion, pushing ourselves too hard while giving to others. Buddhism emphasizes that true compassion begins within. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By treating yourself with kindness and care, you ensure that your well runs deep enough to offer to others without feeling depleted. In moments of doubt or hesitation, remember that compassion doesn't demand perfection. It's not about solving every problem or eradicating all suffering. Rather, it's about meeting each moment with an open heart and a willingness to do what you can. Small, consistent actions have a greater impact over time than sporadic, grand efforts. A key aspect of compassion in action is recognizing that everyone has their struggles. The person who cuts you off in traffic might be rushing to a hospital. The cashier who seems distracted might be dealing with personal challenges. When you approach life with this mindset, you soften your reactions and allow understanding to replace frustration. This shift not only helps others, but also frees you from unnecessary negativity. The beauty of compassion is that it's contagious. When you act with kindness, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions become a beacon, encouraging those around you to step forward with their own compassion. In this way, your efforts multiply, creating a ripple effect that touches countless lives. Compassionate action also brings a sense of purpose and fulfillment to your life. Each time you extend kindness, you align yourself with your values and contribute to something greater than yourself. Over time, these acts shape your character, reinforcing your commitment to living a meaningful life. Ultimately, compassion in action is a practice, a way of life rather than a single event. It requires mindfulness, intention, and a steady willingness to step into the world with an open heart. As you cultivate this habit, you'll find that the barriers between self and others begin to dissolve, replaced by a profound sense of unity and connection. Buddhism teaches that every moment offers an opportunity to practice compassion, whether through a kind word, a thoughtful deed, or simply being present with someone in need. You have the power to create positive change. Each act may feel small, but its impact reverberates far beyond what you can see. As you move through life, remember that compassion is a bridge, a way to connect, to heal, and to inspire. By putting kindness into action, you not only uplift others, but also transform yourself, becoming a source of light in a world that often feels dark. In this way, compassion becomes a force for good, shaping a brighter future for all. In a world brimming with endless distractions, demands, and desires, finding joy often feels elusive. We are conditioned to chase more possessions, more accomplishments, more recognition, believing that happiness lies somewhere at the end of these pursuits. Yet Buddhism offers a radical, yet deeply comforting perspective. True fulfillment arises not from accumulating more, but from embracing less. The essence of this teaching lies in simplicity. The Buddha's life itself exemplifies this principle. Born into wealth and luxury, Siddhartha Gautama walked away from it all in search of truth. What he discovered became the foundation of Buddhism, that letting go of excess and focusing on the essentials brings clarity, peace, and profound happiness. This principle remains as relevant today as it was over 2,500 years ago. The first step toward finding joy in simplicity is recognizing the weight of our attachments. Material possessions, social status, and even our identities can become chains that tether us to dissatisfaction. We cling to these things, hoping they'll fill a void or bring lasting happiness. Yet, as Buddhism teaches, this clinging only leads to suffering. The more we attach to impermanent things, the more we set ourselves up for disappointment when they inevitably change or fade. Minimalism, both in our physical environment and our mental landscape, serves as a pathway to liberation. By reducing the clutter in our lives, whether it's unnecessary possessions, unproductive habits, or toxic relationships, we create space for what truly matters. Imagine walking into a room that is clean and uncluttered. The calm it inspires mirrors what happens in your mind when you simplify your life. Simplicity doesn't mean deprivation. It's not about denying yourself pleasures or living a Spartan existence. Instead, it's about intentionality. It's about asking yourself what truly adds value to your life and letting go of everything else. This approach aligns with the Buddhist principle of mindfulness, being fully present and aware of what nourishes your soul versus what merely distracts it. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in finding joy in simplicity. When you slow down and pay attention to the present moment, you begin to appreciate the beauty in small things. The taste of your morning tea, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the laughter of a loved one. These simple pleasures become profound when experienced mindfully. You realize that happiness isn't hidden in distant, grand achievements, but in the quiet moments you might otherwise overlook. This mindset extends to how we consume. In a consumer-driven society, we are often tempted to equate buying with happiness. Yet how many times have you purchased something only to feel the thrill fade shortly after? Buddhism reminds us that joy doesn't come from acquiring more, but from appreciating what we already have. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary ones and shifts our focus from lack to abundance. Embracing simplicity also requires letting go of the mental clutter that clouds our judgment. Thoughts of comparison, fear of missing out, and the constant need for validation weigh heavily on our minds. Buddhism invites us to observe these thoughts without attachment, recognizing them for what they are, fleeting and impermanent. By quieting this inner noise, we can reconnect with our true selves and uncover a deeper sense of contentment. Relationships, too, benefit from simplicity. When we strip away expectations, judgments, and superficial demands, we create space for authentic connections. Instead of striving to impress or control others, we can simply be present with them. This openness fosters deeper bonds and allows us to experience the joy of genuine companionship. One of the most profound realizations Buddhism offers is that happiness is a state of being, not something to be pursued or achieved. It's not about having the perfect job, partner, or lifestyle. It's about cultivating an inner peace that remains unshaken by external circumstances. Simplicity and mindfulness are tools to access this peace, reminding us that we already possess everything we need to be happy. Practical steps can help integrate this philosophy into daily life. Start by decluttering one area of your home, a drawer, a shelf, or a closet. As you let go of items you no longer need, notice the lightness it brings. Extend this practice to your schedule. Are there commitments or habits that drain your energy without adding value? Consider simplifying your calendar to make room for rest and meaningful activities. Incorporate moments of mindfulness throughout your day. Pause before meals to appreciate the food on your plate. Take a few deep breaths before diving into your to-do list. Practice gratitude by reflecting on 3 things you're thankful for each evening. These small acts of mindfulness help anchor you in the present and nurture a sense of fulfillment. Over time, you'll notice a shift. The constant craving for more will fade, replaced by a deep appreciation for what you already have. The joy you find in simplicity will ripple outward, influencing your choices, relationships, and overall perspective on life. Buddhism doesn't promise a life free of challenges, but it offers a blueprint for navigating them with grace. By embracing simplicity and practicing mindfulness, you cultivate a resilience that allows you to find joy even in difficult times. You learn to let go of the unnecessary and focus on what truly matters: peace, connection, and self-awareness. In a world that often equates complexity with success, Buddhism reminds us that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. By choosing to live with intention and presence, you rediscover the profound beauty in the everyday. This approach not only transforms your life, but also inspires those around you, creating a ripple effect of joy and mindfulness. In Buddhism, the concept of Dharma serves as a guiding principle, offering clarity and direction in life. Dharma represents the natural order of the universe, the truths that govern existence, and most personally, the unique purpose or path that each individual is meant to walk. Aligning with your Dharma is not just about finding your purpose, it's about harmonizing your actions with the greater flow of life and living authentically every day. To understand Dharma, imagine a river. The river's current represents the flow of life, its natural progression. When you align with your Dharma, you're moving with the current, effortlessly progressing and growing. But when you resist, attempting to swim upstream, you encounter struggle and frustration. Dharma is about recognizing this current and surrendering to it, trusting that the flow will carry you where you're meant to be. Discovering your Dharma begins with introspection. It requires looking inward to uncover your deepest passions, talents, and values. What lights you up? What comes naturally to you? What challenges are you uniquely equipped to overcome? These questions point toward your Dharma. Unlike the external achievements often emphasized by society, Dharma is deeply personal. It's not about what others expect of you, but about what resonates with your authentic self. The Buddha's teachings remind us that our Dharma is not static. It evolves as we grow. In your youth, Dharma might mean learning and exploring, while later in life it could involve teaching, creating, or nurturing others. This fluidity reflects the impermanence of life, a core Buddhist principle. Embracing this evolution allows you to remain adaptable and open, avoiding the rigidity that can lead to suffering. Living your Dharma daily doesn't require grand gestures or monumental shifts. It's about small, consistent actions that align with your purpose. If your Dharma involves creativity, it might mean dedicating time each day to write, paint, or innovate. If it's about compassion, it could mean practicing kindness in your interactions, volunteering, or supporting loved ones. These acts, no matter how small, contribute to a fulfilling life. Buddhism also teaches that living in alignment with your Dharma benefits not only you, but also those around you. When you follow your true path, you radiate peace, joy, and authenticity, inspiring others to do the same. This ripple effect creates a harmonious environment, fostering connection and mutual growth. However, aligning with your Dharma requires courage. It often means stepping away from societal norms, challenging expectations, and trusting your inner voice. This path may not always be easy. There will be moments of doubt and fear, especially when your Dharma calls you toward uncertainty or risks. But Buddhism provides tools to navigate these challenges: mindfulness, meditation, and the Eightfold Path, all of which cultivate resilience and clarity. Mindfulness is particularly valuable in this journey. By staying present, you can better discern whether your actions align with your Dharma. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, does this choice resonate with my values? Does it bring me closer to my authentic self? Mindfulness helps strip away distractions, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. Meditation deepens this process by quieting the mind and creating space for insight. In the stillness of meditation, you can reconnect with your purpose, listen to your intuition, and gain clarity on your next steps. This practice serves as a compass, guiding you back to your Dharma whenever you feel lost or uncertain. The Eightfold Path, especially the principles of right intention and right action, provides a framework for living your Dharma. Right intention encourages you to align your goals with your values, while right action ensures your behaviors reflect these intentions. Together, these principles create a life of integrity and purpose. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of patience and trust in this process. Your Dharma may not reveal itself all at once. It often unfolds gradually, like the petals of a flower, as you grow and gain experiences. Trusting this natural progression can alleviate the pressure to have all the answers immediately. Instead, focus on taking one step at a time, knowing that each step brings you closer to your path. A common obstacle to aligning with your Dharma is fear. Fear of failure, judgment, or the unknown. Buddhism teaches that fear arises from attachment and aversion. By practicing detachment and accepting impermanence, you can release these fears and move forward with confidence. Remember, your Dharma is not about perfection, it's about authenticity. Even missteps and challenges are part of the journey, offering valuable lessons and opportunities for growth. Aligning with your Dharma also means letting go of comparisons. In a world where success is often measured against others, it's easy to feel inadequate or unsure of your path. But Buddhism reminds us that each person's Dharma is unique. Comparing your journey to someone else's is like comparing a river to a mountain. They are both beautiful and purposeful in their own ways. As you continue to align with your Dharma, you'll notice a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. Life becomes less about external achievements and more about inner harmony. You feel a deep connection to yourself, others, and the universe. This alignment transforms not only your life, but also the world around you, as your actions contribute to a greater sense of balance and compassion. Ultimately, living your Dharma is an act of self-love and service. It's a commitment to honor your authentic self, embrace your unique gifts, and contribute to the world in a meaningful way. Each day offers an opportunity to align with this purpose, to make choices that reflect your values, and to live with intention and joy. By following your Dharma, you not only create a fulfilling life for yourself, but also inspire others to do the same, weaving a tapestry of harmony and connection in the world. Reinvention is not a single act. It is a continuous journey, a process of growth and transformation that unfolds throughout your life. In Buddhism, the idea of impermanence or anicca is at the heart of this concept. Nothing in life is static. Our bodies, minds, relationships and circumstances are all in constant flux. Embracing this impermanence allows us to approach reinvention not as a one-time overhaul, but as an ongoing practice of adapting, learning, and evolving. At its core, self-reinvention is about shedding old layers to uncover deeper truths about yourself. Just as a snake sheds its skin to grow, we must release outdated beliefs, behaviors, and attachments to step into a more authentic version of ourselves. This process can be both challenging and liberating, as it requires courage to let go of the familiar and embrace the unknown. The Buddhist path offers profound guidance for navigating this journey. The Four Noble Truths provide a framework for understanding the nature of our struggles and finding freedom from them. The Eightfold Path serves as a roadmap, guiding our thoughts, intentions, and actions toward alignment with our highest selves. These teachings remind us that transformation begins within. By changing our mindset, we change our reality. Reinvention also requires mindfulness. By staying present, you can observe your thoughts, emotions, and habits without judgment, identifying areas that no longer serve you. Mindfulness creates a space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose actions that align with your intentions. It shifts your focus from what you cannot control to what you can, your attitude, choices, and effort. Meditation deepens this awareness, offering a refuge where you can reflect on your journey and reconnect with your true self. In the stillness of meditation, you can release distractions, clarify your goals, and find the strength to move forward. Each session becomes a moment of renewal, a step toward the person you aspire to be. One of the most transformative aspects of self-reinvention is the ability to rewrite your narrative. Buddhism teaches that clinging to a fixed identity, whether shaped by past successes, failures, or societal expectations, limits your potential. The concept of anatta, or no self, reminds us that our identity is fluid and ever-changing. By letting go of rigid definitions of who we are, we open ourselves to infinite possibilities. Reinvention also calls for resilience. The path to growth is rarely linear. It is marked by setbacks, detours, and challenges. Buddhism encourages us to view these obstacles not as failures, but as opportunities for learning and growth. Like the lotus flower that blooms in muddy water, we can rise above adversity to achieve greater clarity and strength. Compassion plays a vital role in this journey. As you transform, extend kindness to yourself and others. Recognize that growth is a vulnerable process and that mistakes are inevitable. Treat yourself with the same patience and understanding you would offer a close friend. This self-compassion fosters resilience, allowing you to persist in the face of difficulty. Another powerful tool for self-reinvention is the practice of gratitude. By appreciating the present moment and the lessons it offers, you cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than lack. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you have yet to achieve to the progress you have made, inspiring confidence and motivation. As you continue on this journey, remember that self-reinvention is not about perfection. It is about authenticity, living in alignment with your values, passions, and purpose. It's about embracing the process, trusting that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your true self. The idea of rebirth, central to Buddhist philosophy, beautifully encapsulates the essence of self-reinvention. Each day, each moment, offers an opportunity to start anew. By embracing this perspective, you free yourself from the weight of the past and step boldly into the future. Rebirth is not just a spiritual concept. It is a mindset, a commitment to continual growth and renewal. Self-reinvention also invites you to contribute to the greater good. As you transform, you inspire others to embark on their own journeys. Your actions create ripples, fostering a collective movement toward growth, compassion, and understanding. In this way, your personal evolution becomes a gift to the world. Ultimately, the journey of self-reinvention is a testament to the boundless potential within each of us. It is a celebration of impermanence, resilience, and the human spirit's capacity for transformation. By embracing this journey, you not only discover who you are, but also who you can become, a dynamic, evolving being capable of creating a life of purpose, joy, and fulfillment. As you stand at the threshold of each new day, remember that the power to reinvent yourself lies within you. It is not dictated by external circumstances or the expectations of others, but by your willingness to grow, to learn, and to embrace change. Let this journey be one of self-discovery, guided by mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. Step forward with courage, knowing that you are not bound by your past, but empowered by your potential.